Hey guys, welcome back to CLOWNFISH TV. This is Kneon. Geeky Sparkles is out of office today. No, she's not, because nobody can leave the house. She's actually working on some other stuff. She will be back in other videos today. But I'm going to talk about Star Wars, and she doesn't care. She doesn't care about Star Wars anymore. She said, go ahead and do it. I don't really care anymore. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about another stupid rumor, right, coming about because of this Rise of Skywalker retcon novelization, you know, the one that's trying to explain all the plot holes. Well, now there's another hole being opened up, another little wormhole that could indicate that Disney wants to leave the door open at some point in the future to do an episode 10, 11, and 12. Because of course they do. Because I think they're going to find out, they're going to go out and they're going to do these spin-offs and whatever, and they're not going to make money, so they're going to stupidly think if they do more saga films that they will somehow make bank, even though the Rise of Skywalker drastically underperformed. It still did better than Solo, right? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Ashley Eckstein and her palpable, not Palpatine, her palpable disappointment at not being cast as Ahsoka Tano in The Mandalorian. And speaking of that, we've got some other casting news. Michael Biehn is apparently joined the cast. That makes me a little more excited for season 2. We'll see what happens. So before we get into the video, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We're over 100,000 subs. We're at like 103,000. Thanks for the support. Your subs and views help keep CLOWNFISH TV on the air, which is good because we can't leave the house, so I don't know what else we'd do. At this point in time, I have no idea. I have to find something else to do, I guess. All right, this is coming from Inverse, and this just blows my mind. If this turns out to be a backdoor, a loophole for them to bring Palpatine back again for another Star Wars trilogy, you know what? They might be getting kind of desperate, because Disney just had to take $6 billion in debt just to keep the damn lights on, and now we're finding out that the theme parks are not going to open anytime soon. In fact, in Florida, they've just extended the shutdown to at least April 9th. Universal Studios is already saying they're going to be closed until the 19th. A lot of people are speculating that the Disney parks won't open up again until at least the middle of May, possibly June. And they're supposedly losing something like $30 million per day. And they're already borrowing money to keep the lights on here, guys. Disney doesn't have the kind of cash laying around that people seem to think they do. Now, their stock is rebounding because, Disney Plus, obviously, and because of the promises of a stimulus package. So a lot of stocks are rebounding today a little bit. They're actually, I guess they're back up over 100 now. But they've still fallen pretty far from the $160 a share or whatever they were at the end of last year. However, this is what I want to talk about, because this could be a colossal pile of bullshit. But we do know that Disney Star Wars is full of lots of bullshit. And it also kind of goes along with this rumored Exegol prequel that they've been talking about, that they want to go back and retcon the Rise of Skywalker and be like, oh yeah, here's where all these stormtroopers came from, these red stormtroopers. They've got a whole backstory. Well, now we're talking Palpatine might return. We've seen them try to retcon the Rise of Skywalker with all of this crazy stuff in the books. Now they're saying Rey didn't actually just park it at Luke's house. She was just visiting, and she was actually going to go home to her friend. She wasn't going to take his house. We've seen that Kylo and Rey had a platonic kiss. They've tried to explain that the Emperor was actually a clone. He was in a clone body. And now they're going to elaborate on that he can apparently come back at any point in time, leaving the door open. After Vader hurled him into a pit in the Death Star 2 at the end of Return of the Jedi, Palpatine was presumed dead because he was dead. George Lucas wanted him dead. Even if he had somehow survived the fall, the floating fortress was blown to smithereens shortly after. He fell down a bottomless pit. He exploded, and then they blew up the Death Star. He should have been atomized. Actually, the Death Star should have been atomized, and there were an awful lot of chunks of the Death Star left over. I don't understand how that worked. Even so, the Rise of Skywalker Expanded Edition confirms Palpatine's essence was rescued by the Sith Eternal. See, we need a whole nother series or movie to explain this. His essence, it sounds like the Dark Crystal. The eerie cult scene chanting and clapping inside the icy throne room on Exegol Though he survived, Rey was able to beat him once and for all, using the strength of the Force and the combined strength of all the Jedi to defeat him. Or so we thought. A Reddit user theorizes that the novelization hints Palpatine could return. That's an all red. At least there is a hint that Palpatine could return this time. There was no hint, no indication that Palpatine was ever going to return. Following the Battle of Exegol, Poe and Finn return to the base, and the latter wonders if the former Emperor could return again. It's a legit question considering he was resurrected before. Here's the passage from the novel. General Leia thought they'd destroyed the Emperor at the Battle of Endor, Poe said, but he came back, more powerful than ever. You think he might come back again, Finn said. Maybe, or some other evil will rise. Evil always rises. Nah, said Finn, not for a long time anyway. The passage doesn't directly state that Palpatine will be back, but it leaves open the possibility. After all, this is the same villain who spent decades in hiding, was cloned in secret, and drew upon the Force and all of the unnatural Sith methods to find Rey and rule the galaxy more powerful than ever. Would they bring him back? Would Disney bring him back? Yeah, I could totally see them doing that. I could see them waiting about 10 years and being like, yeah, let's do a 10, 11, 12. Let's do a 10, 11, 12. And you know what they would do if they did that? They would make sure that Rey was actually the Jedi Master that Luke should have been, is what they'll do. They'll have Rey teach new Jedi, and she will actually be a legit Jedi Master like we wanted for Luke Skywalker. I can almost guarantee this will happen. They're leaving the door open. This is Disney we're talking about, cash-strapped Disney. If they think it's money in the bank to wait about 10 years and do another Star Wars trilogy and the Skywalker Palpatine saga, they damn well will do it. They'll do it. You know they will. You know they will. They're already talking about, this Exegol thing, which, fills in the plot holes a little bit and probably will help make a case for how the Emperor could return at any point in time. Whenever Disney needs some money, or wants to attempt to make some money, we'll just dig up the Emperor and we'll do another Star Wars trilogy, bada bing, bada boom, right? Okay, so speaking of digging up older characters, well, she's not really that old a character. We talked about before about Ahsoka Tano, rumored to be played by Rosario Dawson. I think the rumors are probably pretty legit because Ashley Eckstein made a statement and she didn't sound real happy about it. And Geeky put the story out there on her blog. I'll put a link to it. Anyway, she didn't sound very happy about the casting choice. So I think it's legit. I think either she wasn't asked or she tried to audition for Ahsoka, even though she originated the role as a voice actress, and they shot her down. So a few days ago, news hit that Rosario Dawson had been cast to play Ahsoka. Have they officially announced it yet? I don't think they've officially announced it yet. Immediately, longtime Star Wars fans began questioning why Ashley Eckstein wasn't cast as the character. She has been the voice actor for 14 years and has even cosplayed as the character. Some speculate perhaps she passed the role up. It seems likely she was never even offered the role. Here's what she said. And she sounds salty. She does sound salty. I don't blame her. Honestly, last week a rumor was released about Ahsoka Tano being in Season 2 of The Mandalorian. Rumor. I've read all your questions and comments about this story and thank you for your patience as I've taken the much needed time to sort through these questions. The truth is, I'm not involved in The Mandalorian. I can't answer questions for something I have not been a part of. I am an actress and I have performed in all types of mediums. Live action, film and television, theater, voiceover, hosting, and it has been my dream for 14 years to continue to play Ahsoka Tano in all forms. I will continue to be grateful for opportunities to help create stories for Ahsoka Tano, and I am always happy to see her legacy continue. I am only one member of a tremendously talented team of people that it takes to bring Ahsoka to life. The final decisions for Ahsoka are not mine to make, and I cannot comment on something that I truly know nothing about. Sounded very diplomatic, but also sounded kind of salty because a lot of people were saying the reason that they possibly cast Rosario Dawson was that she has a better track record as a live action actress. Whereas Ashley Eckstein, doesn't have the experience, but she made a point of pointing out that she's been a live action actress. She's been a host, and she sounds a little salty about it. She's being very professional, but yeah, she sounds salty. If this is the case, either she wasn't even asked, or she auditioned and they shot her down. So I don't know. I don't know. A lot of people were actually on board with Rosario Dawson being cast. I can see where she would be upset. I thought maybe it was an age thing. I thought maybe Rosario Dawson was the right age to play Ahsoka because, we're talking after the original trilogy. So she would be older, but I Googled and I found out that Ashley Eckstein and Rosario Dawson are basically the same age. I think they're their mid to late 30s. So that doesn't really matter. Interesting turn of events here. And I'm also going to throw this one out there since we're dumping all the Star Wars news into a video here that Michael Biehn is coming to The Mandalorian. They're not saying who he's going to be, though. He is going to play a bounty hunter. So, I don't know. I think that's actually pretty cool. At least they're trying to find the right people. And I hope The Mandalorian, and look, we bust on Star Wars all the time. We bust on Disney Star Wars all the time. So far, The Mandalorian's really the only Disney Star Wars I've really cared for. Rogue One was good, too. And Solo wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But, the trilogy, the sequel trilogy has been a complete bust. But there's some hope with The Mandalorian. What we're concerned about, though, is they're going to milk this bitch. They're gonna, not Michael Biehn, but they're going to milk Baby Yoda. They're going to milk The Mandalorian because that's the only Star Wars they have right now that seems to be mostly well received by all parts of the fandom. Not everybody likes it, of course, but it's actually pretty popular. I don't know. I just hope they don't get all stupid with it, because Disney has a tendency to get stupid with stuff and go overboard when they smell money. And remember, Disney is hurting right now financially, so expect them to make more financially based decisions over creative decisions. Expect them to milk properties as much as they can. We saw how ridiculous they were getting with the Baby Yoda merch even before the shutdown. So we'll keep an eye on that too. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up with this. I absolutely think that if Disney gets desperate enough with Star Wars, they run out of ideas, they don't know what else to do, that they actually would go back to the well in another 10 or 15 years and try to do another trilogy with Rey as a Jedi Master. I can almost guarantee it. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but who knows? I'm going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we will talk later. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.